Welcome to Cinema Bites. Your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. Yi Yoon and Se Bam rush to lock and barricade the lobby doors before zombies from other buildings try to get in. The complex loses phone and TV service, and a message on screen tells everyone to wait for rescue. Everyone gathers in the basement where Yi Yoon has to keep them away from the door. Since they won't calm down, Se Bam opens the door and dares them to join the zombies, which scares them into leaving. Then the group proceeds to cover every glass window and door so the zombies won't see them. The neighbors gather at the gym and a huge argument ensues over the situation. Some people don't believe that the others saw zombies outside, and Yo-hung offers money to anyone who dares go to check. The cleaning crew is so desperate that they take the offer, but at least Jungkook convinces them to wait until daylight. Then Ye-yoon checks the security cameras and discovers that the gym trainer did drink water last night. He and Se-bam interrogate him again, but he still denies taking next, so they lock him in the gym again. That night, Jin-soo and Tae-sok give a briefing about the virus. They're studying an antibody that can directly affect the brain, but they need a month for research. After the meeting, Jin-soo confronts Tae-sok about the lie, revealing they're nowhere close to a cure. Tae-sok explains that if the government thinks there's no hope, they'll kill all the infected. The next morning, the cleaning crew gets ready to go out, so Yi Yoon and Se-bam announce they'll go with them to protect them. As the group begins exploring, Dong-hoon joins them to record everything for his influencer platforms. They encounter a few residents at the wall, but they all deny being infected. A cleaning man checks on the door and accidentally ends up covered in blood. Inside, Young Ok sees a man at the basement door asking for help and promising information, so she starts unlocking the door. However, she freezes when she notices a bandage and blood under his nails. She starts spilling water as a test, and he quickly transforms into a zombie. Back to the exploring group, they enter the grocery store to get food and find the cashier Borum hiding. The cleaning crew finds a blood trail and rushes to warn the others, but Dong-hyun follows it to record it. He eventually finds two zombies and freezes in fear, but luckily Andrew pulls him behind some boxes to hide. The cleaning crew tells the couple about the zombies, so Ye-hyun tells them to leave. However, the alcohol in the shopping carts activates the alarm at the door, which makes the zombies go crazy. Andrew and Dong-hyun start running and make it outside right before the others close the gate. The noise attracts even more zombies to the area. The group rushes back to the main building, but Young Ok hesitates to open the door because she sees the blood on the cleaning man. Yo-young begins playing a recording of Minji's zombie noises and tells Song-hee that the police couple can't arrest him if they're dead. At that moment, Jungkook arrives with Seo-yoon, and he takes the phone from Yo-young while the girl finally opens the door. Everyone hurries to get in, and the cleaning man attacks Young Ok, so the others have to pull him back. Yi Yoon breaks the phone to make the noises stop and runs after Jungkook to cover his face with blood from outside as he insults him. Yo-young screams until Se-bam pulls Ye Yoon away. Meanwhile, Dong-hoon realizes he lost his phone in the chaos. A flashback shows a meeting between Tae-sok and Choi 6 months ago. They were excited about getting government approval for Next as an ADHD medication. Choi and some of his associates were already taking it for concentration boosts. Tae-sok excused himself when he got a phone call and learned about Next's side effects. He told his team to keep the patient quiet with money. When he returned to the dining room, he found Choi biting his wife on the floor. In the present, the refrigerator trucks are being taken to the landfill. Jisoo reports that all the patients injected with the treatment died. At the apartment complex, Yeo-hyun goes to see the gym trainer and asks him to give him the same medicine his wife took, but the trainer swears he didn't sell it. A furious Yeo-hyun begins throwing balls at him while Ye-hyun watches from the door. The trainer suddenly turns into a zombie and attacks Yeo-hyun, so Ye-hyun enters the gym. He says the world would be better without Yeo-hyun, but saves him anyway. Meanwhile, an infected resident from the other building contacts Hae-sung on the intercom and convinces him to meet him in the basement for a consultation. Hae-sung leaves by telling his wife So-yoon that he's just going for a walk. However, So-yoon gets suspicious and checks the intercom logs to learn the truth, so she rushes to warn Se-bam. Hae-sung reaches the basement and gets ready to open the door, only for Se-bam to pull him away. Then she has to keep the door closed while the other resident keeps trying to open it, and thankfully she manages to lock it again. At the gym, Yo-hyun tries to attack Yi-yoon with a weight, but Yi-yoon easily knocks him down. Then, Yo-hyun hears footsteps and runs out to ask for help, but it's Se-bam who kicks him to shut him up. Hae-sung and So-yoon come to see what the noise is about and learn that the trainer is infected. While the couple goes to see Young Ok, because she hired the guy, Yi Yoon waits for the trainer to go back to normal to talk to him. The man admits he took the medicine twice and that there is more in his car. While Haesung goes around the apartments gathering votes to kick the trainer out, Yo takes the medicine from the trainer's car. The next day, everyone heads to the gym for the vote. When Haesung plays a video of the zombified trainer, Sei cuts in to ask if anyone got COVID back in 2020. She reminds everyone that viruses don't discriminate and asks where it'll end if they start throwing people out, pointing out it'll happen to their families. Nobody votes to kick the trainer out, so Haesung proposes to isolate him on the roof instead. That does get him some votes, and it appears to be a tie until the recluse Sihoon arrives to vote to keep the trainer where he is. Tae-sok visits Choi, who only has a month left to live. They discuss how many regions have closed the roads, and Choi announces he'll no longer support quarantine areas. He wants Tae-sok to cut off electricity and not send them any more food. In the meantime, Sebom chats with Se-hoon, who invites her to his apartment to check out his survival equipment. At the same time, Yi-yoon has another talk with the trainer, who tells him his last buyer was Sihoon. Ye-yoon goes to Se-hoon's apartment and pushes his way inside only to find Sebom happily snacking. Borum tells Dong-hyun she saw his phone in front of the building and he offers her money to retrieve it. He moves the barricade and Borum goes out to get the device, only to be found by the desperate resident. Seconds later, a zombie comes in and chases people through the building until he bites Soo-min. At the apartment, Seo-yoon hears the bell and opens the door just a crack with the chain still on. The desperate resident tries to get in, so the girl immediately closes the door again. At that moment, the couple returns and notices the blood on his body, so Ye-yoon chases after him. The guy manages to leave the building and Ye-yoon locks the front door. In the gym, Hong-kyung is terrified after seeing her brother get bitten, and the trainer swears he can help, so she gives him the handcuff keys. The trainer frees himself and rushes to drink lots of water before he starts chasing her, so Hong-kyung runs away. Minutes later, Sebom and Ye-yoon find the trainer drinking water in the gym. When they try to handcuff him, he transforms again, and a fight ensues. The couple works together to defend themselves, but suddenly the zombie is brought down by a shot. It's Tae-sok, who shoots the zombie again to make sure he's dead. Sebom asks Tae-sok why her scratch hasn't healed. He admits the virus is still in her bloodstream. That's why he wanted to do blood tests regularly. Ye-yoon goes looking for Jungkook, who tells him that he survived the zombie attack because Young-ok's husband Woo Chong held up a golden cross that scared the monsters away. Moments later, Tae-sok gathers the residents to announce the entire city is entering lockdown and their electricity will be cut off. Suddenly, an alarm starts echoing outside, and a voice announces the entire city is now under martial law. Tae-seok assures everyone martial law will be lifted in 4 days. Later on, the roof, Tae-seok confesses they found an antibody in Tae-beom's blood. They need to see if it's effective, even if that means letting her get bitten. So he shoots the door to let a zombie out. Tae-beom struggles to defend herself, and Tae-seok feels guilty, so he ends up shooting the creature. In the gym, Yi-yoon and Jungkook discover that the trainer's body is gone. Security footage shows soldiers cutting out his brain before taking the body, which makes Yi-yoon realize Tae-seok came here for Sebom. Yi-yoon runs upstairs while Jungkook guards the elevator, thinking a zombie is coming. However, the doors open and reveal Tae-seok carrying an unconscious Sebom. Since Tae-seok is armed, Jungkook lets him go and runs to warn Yi-yoon. In the garage, Tae-seok drives away with Sebom in the back seat. Yi-yoon runs after them, and when the car reaches the street, he jumps on the hood and takes out his gun. Sebom wakes up and takes Tae-seok's gun before getting out. Yi-yoon is shocked because he gave her a high dose of tranquilizer. Yi-yoon punches Tae-seok, and Sebom agrees to let Jisoo take her blood. In private, Yi-yoon tells Tae-seok that nobody must know Sebom is immune, or the elite will take her away. Meanwhile, Yo-hyung extracts the contents of the next capsules and inserts them into unopened water bottles with a syringe. That night, Hyun-kyung gets an intercom call from Soo-min in the garage. He's covered in blood and admits he's scared, but he won't come inside because he might hurt her. Their conversation is interrupted by the power going out in the whole city. Minutes later, someone with a flashlight opens the door for Soo-min. The next day, a cleaning lady shows Sebom and Ye-yoon a blood-stained towel she found in the trash on the stairs. They check the garage and find an open lunchbox, but there aren't any other clues to follow. At the facility, Seung-young is feeling better thanks to Jisoo's latest treatment. Back to Hyun-kyung, she's sneaking into another apartment and the couple catches her red-handed. She admits she's been hiding her brother. The duo checks on him and Soo-min reveals that the flashlight person with the food had been Yo-young. Yi-yoon and Sebom agree to let him stay as long as both siblings swear not to leave the apartment. On the 4th day, everyone gathers at the gym to wait for news and finds a cooler with drinks waiting. They start drinking, but Yi-yoon is wary and doesn't open his. stopping Saebom from doing the same. At that moment, the city alarm announces that martial law is being extended indefinitely. The next time Jungkook visits Woo Chang for a prayer session, Yoke convinces him to look for hidden infected people in the building. Afterward, young Ok is called by Yo Young, who takes her to the room with Sumin. Saebom and Yi Yoon almost kiss on the roof, but they're interrupted by Yo Young and Young Ok asking about Sumin. The couple has no choice but to quarantine Sumin in the golf course. Afterward, Saebom and Yi Yoon confront Yo Young, who shares a drink. Ye Yoon insists Yo Young do the same and switches their bottles. Then everyone drinks. Yo Young pretends he needs the bathroom and pukes in the toilet, which is heard by the couple. When he comes out, he has no choice but to admit what he did and gives Yi Yoon the last capsule. Yi Yoon swallows it and reveals it's just digestive medication. He guessed someone would take the trainer's stash, so he changed them in the car. A furious Yo Yoon tries to attack them, but the couple easily subdues him and takes him away to isolate him for murder. However, when they reach the upper floor, Jungkook is waiting with the gun out and the rich neighbors. In the facility, Choi and his politician friends take the treatment shot. Since they can't make many shots for now, Choi says they'll keep martial law for longer to decrease the number of infected people so the demand won't be as great. Tae Seok thinks it would be better to get rid of Choi and his friends, and a guard tries to arrest him, but Tae Seok viciously beats him up. It turns out he didn't give them the treatment, and now the old men are transforming so he can gather more data. They immediately start eating the guard. At the apartment building, young Ok uses Jungkook to take the couple to the apartment, saying they should be quarantined because they were in contact with most zombies. Afterward, the neighbors gather to discuss if they should kick the couple out, so Andrew goes to warn them. Saebom rushes to the meeting without realizing she's still carrying her breakfast knife. Yo Young tries to take Jungkook's gun, so Saebom kicks him off. Jungkook aims the gun at her, but she easily takes it and points it at Yo Young. Saebom fires the gun, and Yo Young wets his pants, while she explains it was a blank round. Afterward, Saebom proposes to test who is infected by triggering their thirst. She gets the knife ready, but Yoon rushes in to take it and gets wounded first. Then he puts his bleeding hand in front of everyone's faces until Boram transforms. The couple fights together to subdue her, and Boram is quarantined in the gym. When Boram calms down, she explains that she was scratched when the zombies attacked the store. However, the towel wasn't hers. While young Ok washes up, Woo Chang cleans Boram's blood from the floor and is tempted to lick it, but he stops when his wife almost sees him. The next day, Yi Yoon gathers the neighbors to finish the test, and Andrew volunteers to be the trigger. He collects his blood in a cup, and Yi Yoon passes it around. Nobody transforms, but there are some people missing. At the facility, Jisoo reports to Tae Seok that severe patients are showing a mutation. They're able to suppress their thirst to hide their symptoms. He goes to see Choi, who is barely stable due to sedatives, so transforming again will kill him. Tae Seok explains he held a funeral for Choi, and now his family thinks he's dead. When Yi Yoon and Jungkook bring food for Sumin, he tells them that Wo Chang has been playing golf in secret, but Sumin never got thirsty around him. The cops remember the incident with the cross and conclude that zombies don't attack infected people. At the apartment, young Ok comes back with a blood cup after testing the remaining neighbors. Woo Chang can't resist anymore and drinks it, so a screaming young Ok rushes to hide in the bedroom while he admits he took the medicine. When she opens the door, he's gone. A zombified Woo Chang is moving through the corridors and finds Yo Hyung, who runs back to his apartment where Hae-sung and Song-hee are having an affair. When Woo Chang is about to attack, Saebom rushes in to stop him, but Woo Chang is a stronger zombie and puts up a good fight. Yi Yoon enters the room and removes his bandage to expose his wound, so Woo Chang attacks him. The duo fights together and manages to tie him up. Afterward, the couple goes to warn the others, unaware that Joo-hoon is still inside. He opens the window and stands there until Woo Chang attacks him, moving at the last second so the zombie falls off the balcony. The others come in when they hear the noise, and young Ok cries for her husband. The next day, Saebom and Yi Yoon visit Sehun to ask for water because the neighbors are running out. He reveals that in Building 103, there's an emergency generator they can use to get power and water back. At the facility, Jisoo informs Tae Seok that Saebom's blood test confirms she has the antibodies. He uses a radio to call Ye Yoon, who is looking in the mirror to check on a scratch given by Woo Chang. Tae Seok lies that Saebom's blood doesn't have the antibodies, and instead encourages him to send Se Yoon out, claiming that they're getting minors out of lockdown. Ye Yoon says he'll talk to Saebom and hangs up. Then Saebom drags Ye Yoon to Sehun's apartment, where she's found a note. Sehun wrote that he committed a major wrong and couldn't endure anymore, so he left and everyone else can use his supplies. The couple is suspicious and searches the apartment until they find a bottle of Next. Since Se-hoon is a recluse who never leaves his home, they think this is a trap. After checking the front door and finding it open, the couple goes back and discovers the neighbors trying to get Se-hoon's things. The duo stops them and only lets them take enough to survive a few more days in case Se-hoon comes back. In the evening, Ye-yoon tells Se-bom that she doesn't have the antibodies and shares Tae-sok's proposal. He wants her to leave with Seo-yoon, but Se-bom refuses to leave him behind. They talk about Se-hoon and wonder if he's hiding in the empty apartment. They go to investigate only to find Hae-sung and Song-hee getting dirty. They search the other rooms and find a body covered with a blanket. When they remove it, they're horrified to find the body of the cleaning lady with a bite on her neck. There's lime powder on her hair, which they saw earlier in Se-hoon's apartment. Since Yo-hyung is the only doctor, the couple drags him to look at the body. He concludes the lady has been dead for 2 days and the powder was used to cover the smell. The neighbors gather to discuss the incident, and Young-ok thinks Se-hoon did it. However, Ye-yoon still thinks someone may be incriminating him with the note. At the facility, Tae-sok's wife transforms, and they can't get her lucid again. He grabs the treatment vial, ignoring Jisoo when she points out that using it will reveal to the higher-ups that Se-bom is the cure. Some guards try to stop him, but Tae-sok beats one up and holds the others at gunpoint to escape. Then he injects his wife, who finally calms down. At the apartment building, Ye-yoon and Se-bom let the neighbors take some food from Se-hoon's place. Then, they put Andrew in charge of the place. When the couple returns to the apartment, they find Seo-yoon coughing because of her heart condition, so Se-bom agrees to send her out. Later, there's a neighbor meeting and they agree they need to find the hidden infected person who killed the cleaning lady. The cleaning man attacks Yo-hyung to get blood, and while everyone fights to stop him, Ye-yoon hears a ringing in his ears and closes his eyes in pain. He pulls himself together and announces that he and Se-bom will go out to find food, which is a cover for them to sneak Seo-yoon out. Yo-hyung tells them they should look for the emergency generator instead, and they agree, although they're suspicious of him knowing about it. Afterwards, Ye-yoon calls Tae-sok to tell him he'll send Se-bom and Seo-yoon. The next day, the couple tries to check on Andrew, but he isn't in the apartment. While Ye-yoon goes looking for him, Se-bom gets a call from Jisoo, who did a background check on all the residents. It turns out the real Andrew was found dead in his home. At the same time, Ye-yoon finds Se-hoon's body in the same condition as the cleaning ladies. Hae-seum goes to see Jungkook, claiming he saw zombie Se-hoon. When Jungkook opens the door, Andrew forces his way in to attack him. Se-bom and Ye-yoon hear a shot and run back to their apartment, where they find all the residents waiting to take the couple's supplies. When they enter their home, they find Jungkook bleeding on the floor. Andrew takes off his mask and holds Seo-yoon hostage to escape. The neighbors hadn't known that Andrew was the killer when they started this and leave without taking anything. After helping Jungkook with his wounds, Ye-yoon calls Tae-sok to tell him about the girl. He also guesses that Se-bom does have the antibodies and discusses a possible deal. Later, Andrew leaves Seo-yoon in Hae-sung's care and confronts Ye-yoon, who finally remembers his face from wanted posters. His real name is Jong-wook, and he's killed hundreds of people. Jong-wook admits to his murders, but he isn't infected. He shares the same story that Yo-hyung is telling the other neighbors. The doctor saw him get rid of the cleaning lady and Jong-wook almost killed him for it. But Yo-hyung told him about the empty apartment, to bite their necks to make it look like a zombie did it, to use the powder, and fake the note. Then Yo-hyung went to Young-ok and they agreed to let Jong-wook do whatever he wanted, so long as he helped them with problem residents. Jong-wook takes the couple to the gym at gunpoint and gives the radio to Young-ok. Then he forces the couple to go to the generator like they promised, and Dong-hyun volunteers to go with them. When they reach the garage, Dong-hyun goes to his car to try to escape. The couple finds the electrical room and turns on the generator, which brings back power but also makes lots of noise. Soon, zombies appear in the garage, so the couple runs to hide behind a different entrance, since Ye-hyun thinks Jong-wook will kill them if they return to theirs. Meanwhile, more zombies surround Dong-hyun's car, which won't start. The couple takes the elevator and Ye-hyun tells Se-bom that she does have the antibodies. Tae-sok was using Seo-yoon as an excuse to get Se-bom out. When the elevator stops, the zombies try to get in, so Ye-yoon blocks the door. Se-bom grabs him by the shirt to pull him in, but it rips and reveals his wound. She pulls him in anyway, and the door closes, so the elevator keeps moving while she hugs him. Eventually, they reach the roof and Borom lets them in. Song. He sneaks up behind Yo-yoon and hits him with a golf club. So Ye-yoon is taking care of Se-yoon and is tired of Hae-sung not helping. So when he leaves the apartment, she locks him out. At that moment, Se-bom arrives and takes the girl out. At the same time, Ye-yoon confronts Young-ok, who tries to attack him. He easily blocks her and locks her up in a bathroom. After rescuing Jungkook, he reunites with Se-bom, who tells So-yoon to come with them. So-yoon drops her wedding ring and joins them. Jong-wook notices the elevator moving and the cleaning team uses this distraction to attack him. They stumble into the elevator and Jong-wook stabs the man in the neck before pressing the button. On the roof, the group tells Baram she can come too. At that moment, they're found by Jong-wook, who gets ready to shoot. Yi-yoon tosses a smoke grenade, but Jong-wook still manages to shoot him in the arm as he hides with the others behind the stairs door. Deciding he can't go like this, Yi-yoon says goodbye to Se-bom and returns to the roof, where he handcuffs the lock. Jong-wook shoots him again, but Yi-yoon still moves away to throw the handcuff keys away. When he turns around, he reveals he's transformed and quickly bites Jong-wook. In the apartment, Yo-hyung wakes up and takes a next capsule that he stole from Yi-yeon's apartment, only for Song-hee to hit him with a club again. Then, she asks Hae-sung to read Yo-hyung's tattoo because it's the password to get the doctor's money. Young Ok hits the bathroom door until she makes a hole that allows her to unlock the door. Then she takes the elevator and the cleaning couple tells her everything. In the garage, the group gets in a car and drives away while zombies fail to chase them. The soldiers surround the car outside and Se-bom says she'll go back for Yi-yoon. However, Tae-sok injects her with a sedative. She wakes in a car and sees all the people going through their everyday lives on the street, which means Tae-sok lied to her neighbors about martial law to keep them inside. Later at the facility, Se-bom agrees to give plasma to Tae-sok's wife in exchange for going back for Yi-yoon. When she returns to her room, she checks her phone and finds a video from Yi-yoon admitting he married her because he loves her, but he didn't know how to tell her. The next day, Se-bom donates lots of blood and Tae-sok gives her that last treatment vial. A commander will come to pick her up to take her to another lab, so he gives Se-bom a military uniform that allows her to sneak out. After she leaves, Tae-sok injects his wife and turns himself into the guards. On her way out, Se-bom slips into Se-oh-yoon's mother's room and injects her with the last cure. Jisoo finds her and agrees to help her escape because the soldiers are looking for her. After Jisoo puts on the patient's clothes, Se-bam hits her to make it look like she attacked her. Now Se-bam can finally leave in the car that Tae-seok left for her with a radio and a passport. When the commander interrogates Tae-seok, he tells them Se-bam went back because there's another antibody carrier in the building. He wants permission to take over the operation and bring in a new cure. At the apartment complex, Hong-kyung and Soo-min open the door for Se-bom and share what has been happening. A flashback shows Yi-yoon going back to normal when Young Ok found him. While he took the stairs, Young Ok ran to take the gun from Jong-wook's body. However, he woke up and grabbed her arm. At the same time, Yo-yoon also woke up and took more medicine. Pretending to be infected, he bit Hae-sung, causing him and Song-hee to run away. Yi-yoon went to his apartment, and the siblings checked on him. He told them what happened and said they had to retrieve Jong-wook's body, but when they reached the roof, he was gone. The cleaning lady took her husband to Yo-hyun's place and gave him the medicine, hoping to heal the stab wound. The group continued the search and bumped into Young-ok, who told them she smashed Jong-kook's head, but she didn't move the body. Then Ye-hyun checked the garage and found Dong-hyun in his car crying because he was bitten. He brought him inside and sent him back to his parents. Moments later, the cleaning man was feeling better and his wife removed the knife. They agreed they wanted the apartment, so she lured Yo-hyun into the room, but when the man was about to attack him, Yo-hyun managed to run away with only a scratch. He bumped into Yi-yoon, who immediately quarantined him in the gym. In the present, the siblings finish telling the story and Se-bom runs to her apartment. In the gym, Song-hee tries to take Yo-young's laptop, but he grabs her arm to catch her. At that moment, Young Ok enters the gym with a weight, saying she can break the handcuffs if Yo-young helps her kill Yi-yoon. Minutes later, Yo-young hears Song-hee screaming for help. He finds her in the corridor as Yo-young's hostage, and the doctor cuts her arm before throwing her at him. Yo-young fights the thirst and pushes Song-hee away, before running back to his apartment, where he starts transforming while Yo-hyung pounds on the door. Suddenly, Se-bom arrives and beats Yo-hyung up before entering the apartment. She approaches Yi-yeon without fear, and Kami comforts him with tenderness, helping him fight the transformation. Soon, he goes back to normal. Meanwhile, Song-hee takes the computer to Hae-sung, who finally guesses the password. However, when they try to access Yo-hyung's crypto account, they discover he lost all his money because the virus made the market crash. Soon, the soldiers finally arrive to take everyone away. Tae-sok checks on Soo-min's injuries, confirming he's immune. Yi-yoon encounters Jong-wook and tries to fight him, only to get shot. Yi-yoon hears the noise and runs to find Jong-wook holding Yi-yoon hostage. With her gun, she creates an injury and the smell of blood makes Jungkook transform. He runs to attack her and leaves Yi-yoon free to shoot him in the head, finally killing him. Afterwards, Se-bom cradles Yi-yoon in her arms, crying when he passes out. Weeks later, Young Ok and Yo-hyung stand trial for their crimes. Sung-young is slowly recovering, and Seo-yoon visits Se-bom and Ye-yoon, who has been healed too. After the girl leaves, the couple admits they're finally happy together. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos. See you next time.